All right. Should we start? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to give me a thumbs up using the reactions button? Hmm? Once you give me a thumbs up, give me some energy, I will start. Please give me some energy. Great. Thank you, Sharika.
Really.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome once again to all our young environmentalists joining us today. I hope you're feeling curious, energized, and ready because today is going to be your day. Yesterday, we came together for the Planet Status Report, where we took a deep and honest look at the state of our environment. We spoke about rising temperatures, biodiversity loss, planetary boundary, fake forest cover, and even eco anxiety. It was a lot to take in, but also incredibly important. All of this came from the State of Environment report, this report, by the Center for Science and Environment, a report that usually sparks discussions among experts and policymakers. But here's the idea behind the Young Planet Dialogue. Why should only adults discuss the future of the planet when the future is actually in your hands? This platform, the Young Environmentalist website, is about you, your awareness, your questions, and your voice. Because tomorrow belongs to you, and your perspective matters more than ever. That's exactly what today is all about. Today, we shift gears from problems to solutions. We'll begin with a presentation that focuses on solutions, real practical ways people are tackling environmental challenge like plastic pollution, waste management, and more. This will be followed with a quick Q&A where you can ask questions and clarify your thoughts. And then comes the most exciting part, the Earth Talk Fest. This is where you guys take the center stage. We'll put up questions on the screen and we want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about environmental crisis? What would you change? What ideas do you have? There are no right or wrong answers here. Just honest, bold thinking. So get ready to speak up, share, and maybe even surprise us. Some house rules before we begin. Please stay on mute during the session so we can hear the speaker clearly. Chat box is open. Feel free to share your reactions, thoughts, emojis anytime. You can send your questions privately through chat. We are collecting them. During question and answer and the talk fest, we'll give you a chance to speak live. And a quick note on certificates. Only those who attended both day 1 and day 2, yesterday and today, will be eligible. These will be emailed to you by tomorrow or shortly after, so keep an eye on your inbox. And now, it's time to begin today's session. Our guest speaker today is someone truly inspiring. Snigdha Das is the chief copy editor of Down to Earth, India's leading environmental magazine. She has spent about 2 decades crafting powerful stories on climate and development, making complex issues simple and impactful for young readers like us. And here's a lovely fun fact: when she's not busy shaping evergreen stories, she spends time with her little son and his friends to show them nature. Let's give her a big virtual round of applause. And over to you, Snigdha. Can we please have her slide?
Thank you, Anubhuti. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And hello, children. So, hope you all remember what Mr. Richard Mahapatra told you yesterday about the state of our planet, about the state of our environment. So, just a quick recap. He told you how the planet has warmed, how the climate has changed, how water resources are dwindling, and how the air is getting polluted, tree diversity, wildlife are disappearing, and so on and so forth. Did that sound doom and gloom to you? Okay, let me tell you one thing. A couple of months ago, we are Down to Earth conducted a survey to understand how our youngsters feel about the changing climate. The survey results showed a lot of anxiety among the youth. Now, these are children or people who are born this century, born in and after the year 2000. They feel people are falling sick because of the changing environment. They're so worried. Yeah, that's true. The wars, the conflicts, the traffic, the pollution, the mounting garbage dumps is all quite overwhelming. But we can't be disappointed. We can't lose our heart. We must not feel helpless. Why? Now, let me tell you a story to explain this. So, we have this presentation ready for you. This is about a girl who followed plastic because she wanted to stop the plastic menace. Plastic is everywhere, is hurting the earth. The girl, her name is Tara, she had heard her teacher say this several times in the class. One day, she decided to fix the problem. I'll stop it, she said to herself. Next morning, she woke up with the mission of stopping the plastic menace. She brushed her teeth and paused. The toothpaste came out of a shiny plastic tube. Her toothbrush, plastic too. She frowned. It starts here, she whispered. She opened her cupboard. Her favorite jackets, fleeces, yoga pants, jeggings were all made of plastic based fabrics. Her mother had chosen these synthetic fabrics because they are wrinkle free. They dry quickly, and moreover, they are cheap. But they shed microplastics into the water supply when washed. After breakfast that day, Tara went with her granddad to the milk booth. The milk came in a crinkly plastic packet. At home, she looked around carefully. Her toys, plastic. The switchboard was plastic. The paint on the walls was plastic. Even the bright pink nail polish her cousin loved was plastic. Tara felt overwhelmed. This is impossible, she said. Everything is plastic. Just then, her granddad came to her and said, when something feels too big, you don't fix everything, you find where it begins. So, where does plastic begin, Granddad? Tara asked. Not in your room, he smiled. Come, let's follow it. So, together, they went to the shop. The shopkeeper handed out biscuits wrapped in plastic. He wrapped fruits in plastic. He wrapped even bottles in plastic. Where do you get all this? Tara asked. From the supplier, the shopkeeper said. So they went to the supplier, whose boxes arrived there, each filled with smaller plastic packages. Where do you get it? Tara asked. Again, from factories, the supplier said. So Tara and her granddad went further, past the busy roads, past the noisy city, until they reached a factory. There, melted plastic flowed like thick, glowing honey, poured into molds to become bottles, wrappers, toys, and whatnot. Tara watched quietly. This is where it begins, she said. Granddad nodded. Yes, but also it begins with people choosing it. On the way home, Tara didn't feel helpless anymore. The next day, she made a different choice. She used a steel water bottle instead of buying a plastic one. She carried a cloth bag to the shop. She asked all the people waiting at the milk booth, can you use a reusable container? Some people said no. Some people laughed it off. But if you said, maybe. Her granddad found a glass jar for storing biscuits. The shopkeeper agreed to try paper bags. Her friend brought lunch in metal boxes instead of plastic tiffin boxes. And they also started undertaking plastic cleaning drive in the roads and the parks. These small changes added up. And one evening, Tara stood in her room again. The plastic had not disappeared. It was still in her brush. It was still in her switchboard, in her walls. But something had changed. She was not just surrounded by plastic anymore. She was changing the story around it. Now, children, I would like you to remember that things will not change immediately when you take action. Even if all plastic production were stopped today, it would take hundreds, possibly over 1,000 years, to eliminate the existing plastic on Earth. The load of microplastics will still be there, but nothing will ever change and may even worsen if we do not start changing our actions now. By saying this, dear children, I'm not placing the entire responsibility on you. It's the responsibility of everyone, even of dinosaurs like Richard Mahapatra, who was born last century. We all must act, make good choices, consume resources mindfully, walk lightly on earth. At times, you may wonder why our generation is burdened with so many challenges. But please remember that every generation faces its own set of challenges. Let me just give you a few examples. So, before 1900 or before the 20th century began, the average lifespan or life expectancy of a person was around 35 to 47 years. Why? Because deaths from common infections and diseases were widespread. The global health picture was dark and grim. That was the challenge of that era. Then, if you remember from what you have studied in your textbook, in 1928, Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. That was the first antibiotic. This drastically reduced deaths from pneumonia, wound infections, meningitis, led to medical advances, made surgeries safer. Let me give you another example. You all must have heard of Green Revolution in India. That was done around 1960s. Well, before that, India faced severe food insecurity. Our agricultural productivity was low, and the country depended on food imports. We used to import food from other countries. Can you even imagine this? Scientists took this as a challenge. They introduced high yielding varieties, and today, India is food surplus. Of course, these high yielding varieties also consume a lot of water and have led to groundwater depletion. At Down to Earth, while doing a story, we once spoke to a scientist involved in Green Revolution. And he said that while developing these varieties, their immediate objective was to overcome the food crisis. It was the responsibility of the next generation of scientists to develop varieties that use less water. And that is exactly what is happening now. Scientists are now creating high yielding varieties that would consume less water. So what I want to say by through all these examples is that all the emissions, pollution, and depletion of natural resources that you see around you are byproducts or negative consequences of humanity's pursuit of growth, progress, industrialization, and innovation. These very activities have made your generation the largest, the wealthiest, and most informed in history. Yes, no generation before you had access to so much wealth and information at its disposal. Of course, the byproducts of this progress, the negative consequences of this progress could have been managed far more wisely. A failure that we cannot ignore, but that doesn't mean the situation is beyond repair. You can make a difference by being mindful of your choices and actions. So, my dear children, pay attention to how much water you waste. Plant a tree that grows food for birds and take care of it. Make sure that batteries from your toys and flashlights are recycled properly and not just dumped carelessly. You must remember that improperly disposed batteries can leak toxic metals like lead, mercury, and cadmium into soil and water, and it can cause severe ecotoxicity. Down to earth through our magazine, website, YouTube channel, and annual reports such as the State of India's Environment that Anubhuti just showed to you. It has been our constant effort to highlight issues related to the environment. Reading such content will help you stay aware of the problems and also tell you how to fix them. We regularly feature stories in our section in front that show how individuals, school students, and communities they are taking action to solve problems around them. I remember we once featured the story of two brothers of Delhi National Capital Region who have set up a group that collects dry waste like cardboard, plastic, e-waste from households, and they deliver it to recyclers. In Jamshedpur, there are schools who have set up e-waste collection centers where people can come and deposit unused and defunct electronic devices. Maybe some of you can set up once a center for unused antibiotics. There are endless possibilities. So that is all. I hope you enjoyed and with this discussion and could learn something. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Snigdha. This was a very brief and very interesting presentation to our children. One second. Yeah. So I'm sure you must be having some questions. If you have something that you would like to ask Snigdha, please go ahead and raise your hand. We'll pick a few of your questions and don't hesitate. This is your chance. So you can ask Snigdha your questions directly. Let us quickly do a round and then we will begin with the Earth TalkFest. All right, so we have our first question. This is from Florence Arora. Florence, please introduce yourself by mentioning your class, your name, your school, and where are you speaking from, your location. Yeah,
I'm
Florence,
Yes, ma'am.
please go
I'm
ahead.
Florence Arora from Delhi Public School. I'm class 7th, and my question is that how is citizen participation by everybody, like saving water and removing the plastic waste, how is going to make a major change in front of all the industrial waste that is being made by all the factories?
Mm, Florence, we missed the initial part of your question. Uh, do you mean to ask how community can help with waste management? Hello?
I'm asking
Hello,
that
Florence?
how does it
I think I will pass
how
on the question to you, Snigdha. Would you like to answer this? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So was it a question like if you conserve water, how that's going to solve uh, the industrial waste being dumped by factories? I think we have missed Florence. Yes. Hmm? Okay. So so there are different aspects how you can do your bit towards the environment by conserving water. That's your bit of contribution. The factories, they will have different ways of conserving water, but it uh, of course, by if they continue to dump waste, industrial waste in water, they will keep polluting it. That's a different thing altogether.
Thank you, Snigdha. The next question will be by Darsh Agarwal. Darsh, uh, are you ready? Please introduce yourself by telling us your class, your school, and your location, and go on.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my name is Darshak Grabal. I'm from grade 8. I study in Gomti Nagar CMS Cambridge Extension, and I live in Lucknow. Ma'am, so the question which I want to ask is, like everyone know, everyone today, everyone is mostly dependent on AI. So, ma'am, like what how AI causes problem to our environment, like for cooling, it takes water. So, ma'am, what are the other problems caused by AI.
Okay. Thank you, Anger. So the cooling, the data centers that require fresh water, good quality water for cooling, that's the major environmental impact of AI right now. So at places we have seen like the data centers, they have installed, they are drawing groundwater without proper authorization, and they are using it to cool down the data centers. And mm, so yeah, that I would say is a major impact of data centers right now, or the AI right now. I have here with me Richard. Richard, anything that you would like to add to this point?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So as Snigdha pointed out, the AI, the boom in this, basically they depend on massive data centers. Centers, as we know, they are water guzzlers, means they use more waters. Also, they use more energy. So energy consumption itself will lead to the what we are looking at, the emissions and everything, greenhouse gases and everything. So that's the second. The third one that we have been talking about is not the environmental issue, but what could be the other, this artificial intelligence actually coming as a tool is basically, the cognitive issue with all of us. So that's another part being spoken about. And there are already studies which show that the our own intelligence or the cognitive behavior or to think creatively and to do something that using the standard human intelligence, not the artificial one, that will be impacted in longer term because you have a tool created through artificial intelligence, this what you call this large language model, and all these models are coming up and taking over the things that you feel that sometimes that was your skill, that's where you actually applied your thinking, your creative beings, and other things as well. So that's another one. So that's coming up. Then the third part of it is that, again coming to this, all these things are not what we call the virtual world. It's not virtual per se. It's always controlled physically. And most of our internet connections actually operate through cables, physical cables that go through under the sea. And as now the war is raging in the Middle East and elsewhere also, there are chances that these cables will be cut short, will be damaged, and putting the whole system at stake, and particularly when we are so dependent. If somebody actually snap a cable now, we can't speak to each other now, that we are doing. More than that, the marine litters are another, the increasing burden. We are still not looking at it, but the oceans floors might have more actually waste. All these wreckages of cables to every other things, those are piling up. So that's emerging as another issue. But with this boom in AI, these data centers, and you going for more and more advanced level of or generation of internet communication, like what you call usually 5G, 4G, and kind of things, will be needing more of that. So we are adding also to the waste accumulation inside the sea. So that's another one. Besides here, the impact on energy demand going up, then also the water use. And just to tell you something, the data centers in India, we have reported, most of them are actually located in a water stress area. So there will be a contest also. water stress area, then this data centers comes who need supply 24/7, good water. Now, what would happen to the people already dependent on that water source in the locally? So these are the things coming up majorly now.
Okay, thank you so much, Richard. The next question will be by Angad Singh. Guys, we will just take two, three questions. After that, we will start with the talk fest. So be alert. Angad Singh, please ask your question and introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. My name is Angut Singh Barada, and I live in Ludhiana, and I study in DPS. So my question is that what are the major sources of air pollution in India according to CSE report?
Uh, just- Hi, Angad. So, is everything from vehicles to our power plants to generators,
Yes,
all
ma'am.
the sources, all the
Yes,
sources
ma'am.
release some kind of emission, some pollution. Is that okay? Anything, Richard, that you would like to add? Any other point?
I think you are from Ludhiana. So in Ludhiana, industrial emission is the biggest air pollution source, besides the cars and vehicles. Thank you.
That's interesting. Thank you so much, Richard. Uh, we'll go to the next question, which is by Dhanashri Gaikwad. Dhanashri, are you ready? Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Do introduce yourself also. Dhanashri, do we have you? Okay. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. I am Dhanushri Gaikwad from Baramati, and I am from Vidya Pratishtha New English Medium School. I would like to ask that how can we avoid plastic in our society, not only from us, but how can everyone will help by this?
Hi, Dhanusri. Uh, so as I showed in my presentation, the story, so avoid, since the penetration of plastic is so much that it is really difficult to avoid, but you can be mindful about what you're using. So first, stop using yourself, whatever is possible. You definitely cannot avoid using all the plastic materials that surround you. Then also talk to your friends, talk to um, other people in your society, and also ask them to stop using whatever is possible. But the biggest problem comes when disposing the used plastic. For that, you have to be mindful enough to segregate it. Try to connect with some recyclers in your area if they can collect those plastic, used plastic, and then recycle it. And that's the only thing that I can see is a possibility. Richard, you'd like to add anything to this?
Okay, I think you mentioned that not just us, but the society also. I think the society is made up of individuals like all of us. So one way of looking at this that if you bring down the demand, so its circulation also comes down of some things. So individually, if you stop using, then its consumption will also come down. Isn't it? That's why you run campaigns like no smoking campaign, no firecrackers during pickup pollution, that actually individual does that. And all of us join that, and it becomes a thing like that. So plastic also has to be approached in this kind of change also from individual consumption perspective, so that you consume something less, so that it will be out of circulation. And gradually, I'm sure you will have a time when there will be no plastic per se, means ki new plastic products being introduced. And remember, we are already seeing many single-use plastic items are becoming non-plastic now. Like in that past Snigdha's presentation, you found a mention of a steel brush. Now you have wooden brush, and all those things have started coming, and that was what we used to have earlier before plastic came into being. So this is how it happens actually. So you take the first step, then others join you, then ultimately a product loses its demand, and then it's out.
Great. Thank you so much,
I'd
Richard.
just like to add one thing here. Anubhuti, I'm sorry. Can I add one point?
Sure, please.
Yeah, so the penetration of plastic, plastic is so ubiquitous right now. It's becoming almost difficult to figure out what is plastic and what is not. I mean, as I said, do you know how much plastic fiber is there in your jeans? How much plastic fiber is there in your clothes? Have you ever thought about it? That everyday stuff that you use, what kind of glue that you're using, your nail polish, everything. So it's also important to be aware. You can't stop using something until and unless you know that that particular thing is bad, that particular thing is damaging, that particular thing is plastic. So make yourself aware about all these things. Learn, as I also said, like, is at Down to Earth is our constant effort to keep highlighting such issues. Please keep reading such content. Make yourself aware. Your action, as well as your choice, that matters. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I was on mute. The next question goes to Nidhi Bobade. Nidhi, please ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, I am Nidhi Bobade from New English Medium School from Baramati, Maharashtra. My question is that means like that you told that batteries are disposable. If it is not disposable, then it can make the toxic harm. If it usually we use the different materials, like we can join to computers, like we have Arduino boards, so we can also use that. It is disposable.
Okay, to reply to that, nothing is disposable as we dispose as of now, including plastics. All of these things, including plastics, including your electronics parts, that then the battery, these are all specialized waste materials that has to be disposed of in a specialized way, not the way we throw it now. So that's why they contaminate and they lead to also. This is why the plastic, so much of plastic in the atmosphere is also because we are not recycling that, and we are just dumping it around, and they are leaking out microplastics, and they are choking our things. Coming straight to your questions about on the battery and those kind of electronics goods and things that we get to dispose nearly everyday kind of things in our day-to-day life. There are set rules on how to dispose these things. You are not supposed to just throw or ask your waste picker to take it away. Those have to be dismantled, safely disaggregated, and been done. Second, most of the things are also recycled into other things. Many things are salvaged. So that's another industrial, uh, process that's applied to that. So there are municipality rules and regulations, including in Baramati, where you are speaking from. You will find that how to dispose your electronics, your batteries, and all these things. There are rules and regulations in this country. So they are not to be just to throw. And coming back to your second part, whether there is something disposable. Yes, they are disposable, but has to be disposed in a certain manner, keeping in mind that these are very chemical things, so need to be protected, need to be segregated. So that's to answer your questions. So go through the rules and regulation to how to safely dispose similar products, including plastic products.
Okay. Thank
Is the audio working? Hello. Yeah. Okay. Um, Thank you, people. Uh, okay. Elena has one important question, and she's been raising her hand very sincerely for quite some time. Elena, glad to see a smile on your face. Please introduce yourself, ask your question, and children, I will request you to please be prompt and ask your questions quickly so that we have the time for talk fest. All right, go ahead.
My name is Alina Khurana. I'm in class 6. I'm from Balbhati Public School, Bridgewire, Ghaziabad. I live in Delhi. Ma'am, I have a question. Is economic development more important than environmental protection?
Snigdha, please take this question.
Very interesting and important question that I would really love to know the answer from some of the great leaders of the world. But with my limited knowledge, I would like to say that both are important. And we have to learn how to enhance the term sustainable development. We have to learn how to keep the balance between economic growth as well as environmental protection. As I said before this, like the progress is a human nature s- to pursue growth and to innovate. And that's the reason, like, we have made so much progress in health, in medicine, in all kinds of development, in exploration, space exploration, and all the comfort that you are seeing right now. And the world has become a global, it's so small, it's become a globalized world because you are able to move around the world in such so swiftly, just within a few hours. So that is important, but at the same time we should be mindful of what we are doing and should be able to develop progress sustainably.
Thank you, Snigdha. We'll take the final question. Yashika has a very interesting question. Yashika Arora, can you please ask your question?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Yashika from Delhi Public School, Ludhiana, and my question to you is if in future plastic is completely replaced by eco-friendly means, what would we do with the plastic replaced as it is non-biodegradable? How would we get rid of it from our planet?
Can I answer this?
Yes, please.
You are very much right. When plastic was invented, it was called the magic pill to everything. Something goes against the natural law of becoming permanent something. We all have to die. We are all mortals. Nature doesn't like anything immortal. So plastic was like that. It's designed for that. So it will not go away. It will take thousands of years to actually decimate somehow. We don't know. What we know is that even in this 50, 60 years of use of plastics, we know that it's not going away. It's rather taking different forms of these things. So it actually brings, your question brings to the question, to the point that plastic being developed as something non-degradable was meant to be recycled safely. And it was a loop. So you keep on using it, recycling it. Where we have failed is that we are not able to recycle it. And there are now it has been let loose. So even if we stop now using plastics, I'm sure we'll see in future there will be a point, but plastic will not be out of our atmosphere. It will continue to do the harms that it is doing now to you, just like your carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which were released 150 years ago, because it will remain there. So yes, it will be very a dreamy situation that we'll see the last tukda of plastic flying away from the planet. It's not. So the plastic that you have already inside your blood, inside your body, the micro body in a microplastic, they will remain there.
Thank you, Richard. I would like to move on to the top test, but I am pulled back by one more question by Ishan. Ishan Abhilash has been asking a question, and his question also seems pretty interesting to me. I would request you to take up this question. Ishan Abhilash, are you there? Please ask your question.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, when we buy EV vehicles, we after like 2 3 years we change the battery of that. So more and more people buy EV vehicles nowadays. So to meet the people's demand, we people make more mines for the lithium of the battery. People make more mines. So for making those mines, people are cutting more and more trees. So after all this, why do people encourage EV vehicles more than CNG vehicles?
S- So, Ishan, first of all, EV vehicle is not the ultimate final vehicle that we want to. It's always a transition vehicle. We have not what we want. We do not want emissions coming out of vehicles. We want to travel, yet we want to travel without emissions, right? S- So we want to figure out what is the ultimate fuel that can give us energy, but with less emission. So electric vehicles are just a transition till we achieve that target. This is what we can, because it doesn't emit, right? But yes, at the same time, uh, the batteries, they pose challenge. You cannot just put the, eventually we have just started. In 10 years of time, we are going to see how much waste the batteries are going to generate. So already there are recycling plants where which are accepting these used batteries from electric vehicles. They are going to recycle, they're going to extract all the lithium and other critical minerals which are so hard to get, which have so limited resources on earth. So they're going to extract and they're going to reuse those materials, critical materials or rare earth materials, minerals, back into the new batteries. Could I answer your question?
I believe so. So we do have a lot of more questions, but I would request all of you to save your reactions for the upcoming TalkFest. Let's now move on and hear how it will work. A question will appear on your screen. And if you'd like to answer, simply raise your hand, just like how you're doing right now, and we'll invite a few of you to speak. All right? Here, we are going to ask you questions, and you're the ones who has to raise your voice and answer them. Sounds good? Yeah? I need some reaction, friends. That's great. Thank you, Harsh. All right. So I'll request my friend Yashita to please turn the slide to the question number 1. All right, here we are. So, which environmental issue should adults address first and foremost? Are you all hearing me? Oh, great. We already have some hands raised. Yeah. Okay. Ruhani Goel, uh, who would like to answer this? Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm unable to see your hands raised. Can you give me some names? Sukhneet Kaur. All right. Sukhneet, uh, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Do mention your class, your school, and your place.
Ma'am,
Sukhneet, are you there?
ma'am, I'm Sukhneet. Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I'm Sukhneet from. Hello.
Sukhneet, please unmute yourself.
Ma'am, I'm already unmuted.
But we can't hear you. Oh my God. All right.
Ma'am,
Okay, great. Sukhneet, please tell
Ma'am,
us.
I'm Sukhneet from Mughalsarai, Sunbeam School, Mughalsarai, class 7th A. And ma'am, my answer for this question is the first and foremost should be climate change, global warming.
Okay. And why do you feel so?
Ma'am, I feel so because like driven by greenhouse gas emissions from burning fossil fuels, and there are many others.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, all right. Let's take a few more reactions. Okay, Darsh again. Anybody else? Okay, Darsh really wants to ask a question. Darsh, welcome back to the session. It's great to have you today as well. Okay, what do you want to say to a question like this?
I just wanted to just say about this question only.
Sorry?
Mama, I just wanted to answer about this question only.
What do you want to say?
Like, I just wanted to answer this question. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You have to tell us which environmental issue do you think the grown-ups should address first? Do you think
Yes, ma'am.
climate change? Do you think any other water-related issue or anything else which comes to your mind?
Ma'am, I think the first and the biggest issue which should be resolved is deforestation. And deforestation is one of the biggest issue, and that's the reason we are getting development, but we are playing games with nature. That's the reason we are affecting homes of nature, and we are killing, and due to that multiple animals are like being endangered, and like there are only one, and there have been now more than 1 million species which have become endangered due to deforestation till now.
Okay, thank you, Dash. That was very thought-provoking. Elena, do you want to add to that?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, biodiversity loss and ecosystem collapse. Uh, this is the main reason. Humanity is using resource faster than they can be replenished and leading to a sixth mass extinction. Adult can address this by supporting conservation effort and making sustainable contribution choice.
I am very impressed, Nidhi, Elena. I think you have been very carefully listening to our presentations and sessions yesterday and today. Thank you so much. And I think that gives a good punch and reason for us to move on to the next question. Um, all right. So here's your next. What habits do you, as children, practice better than adults when it comes to the environment? What do you think you do better than your parents, your elder siblings, your grandpas, grandmoms, or any senior who's around you? Be honest, and this is your moment to call them out and give yourself some kudos. Yeah, think about it. What do you think you do better? I'm looking for a lot of hands raised. All right, Ananya, do you want to answer this question? Yes, Ananya, please introduce yourself. Mention your name, class, school.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ananya Goenka. I I study in class 6th F in Delhi Public School, Ludhiana, Punjab. I would like to answer this question. Um, a- as I study in school, so our school takes us to plantation drives. Like we recently went into Mathewara forest. So ma'am, there we grew almost 100 trees, but ma'am, like we planted trees, but our parents do not go outside to plant the trees. So I think this could be an answer.
That's very insightful. Thank you. Uh, uh, okay, I think we have another hand raised, and that is by I'm unable to see your hand raised. Okay, Nidhi uh, and Arkita. Yeah, Arkita, would you like to answer this question? It's nice to have a fresh name. Arkita, are you able to hear me? She's also there. Yeah, I think we are unable to connect with Arkita. Um, there's Nidhi also. Nidhi, do you want to speak? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, I will answer this question. I am from Baramati, Vidya Pratishthan English Medium School. Habits that children practices better than the adults, that is understanding. Means how our teachers tell in our schools that we have to plant more trees and reduce the waste of plastic. We are understanding that and reducing the plastic waste. So like that we are growing up, so we can make so many things. So this is the habit that we can practice better than the adults.
Okay, so you feel that adults around you do not take care of uh, the plastic overuse that they are doing? Um, anyway, okay, we have Arkita back. Hi, Arkita. Do you want to comment on this? What do you think you do better than adults? We can't hear you. Put on the volume. Okay, we'll move on to Lakshya. Uh, Laksh, do you want to answer this question? Laksh Tiwari?
Yes, ma'am. First
Hi,
of all, a
Laksh.
very good evening to one and all present here. I am Lakshya Tiwari from school LFPS. I am studying currently in 10th standard. And ma'am,
Okay.
I think that children often practice environmental habits better than adults because they are more aware and open to changes. They waste less, follow recycling rules seriously, and remember to switch lights off and save water and electricity, just like I do. Unlike adults, they easily adopt eco-friendly habits like using clothes back and reusing things. Even they also enthusiastically practices or participates in their co-curriculum activities in the schools. So the children are more aware than the adults about the environmental habits, and they are more aware about the consequences of it. Thank you.
That's fantastic and that's very honest and direct. Thank you, Laksh. I I have a hand raised by Elena. Elena, please answer this. Tell us your response to it, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Yes, ma'am. Green transportation for short distance. Sorry, ma'am. I'm from Bal Bharati Public School, Gujarat, Ghaziabad, from class 6. Green transportation for short distance. Children are younger
Do you mean to say that you
and
use, yeah, you
and
use it more?
more likely to use eco-friendly transport such as walking or riding a bicycle for short trips. Sorry, ma'am. Compared to adults who may default to personal vehicles.
Compared to adults who feel lazy? We get that. Uh, Thank you for your direct responses. We now move on to the next question. So, if you could ask the government one environmental question, what would it be? Right? Do you understand the question? If you could ask the government of a country, somebody who's in authority, one environmental question, what is that question? You can ask anything. Yeah. Uh, no filters. Think about your pollution holidays, think about your COVID times, think about your classes, anything that you would like to ask. Okay. We have hands raised and Florence Arora. Florence, do you want to answer this question?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that the government, why can't they actually make sustainable ways more affordable so the factories can afford all those waste for dumping waste instead of dumping them. Like most factories can't afford the sustainable waste, so they instead
Mhm.
of costing more, they dump the waste. So why can't they make it more affordable?
Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. That's in fact one of the reasons why recycling is such a slow process in our country. Uh, Roseanne Sumit. Roseanne, would you like to answer this question?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I would ask the government to ask the factories to or give the factories a area specifically for dumping their waste so that they won't have to pollute it in other areas like water bodies.
Okay, there are designated spaces though, but yeah, government needs to monitor better. Um, should we move on to the next question? All right. So, what is one change your school can make for the planet? What is one interesting change that you think that your school can make for the planet? It can be in any field. It can be in climate change, it can be in transport, it can be in food, it can be in any other method or means. Okay, so we have some hands raised again, and I will request fresher people to join in, please. Arkita, would you like to take this up now that you are back? Sound issue. We can't hear you. Maybe you need to check your laptop's volume. Until then, let's take more reactions. Darsh. Darsh, we get back to you. Do you want to say something? What do you think one change your school can make?
Yes, ma'am. The one thing which my school can make is like my school always focuses on world peace and always also focuses on the environmental changes. So every year, me and my class goes to our school garden and plants new trees and take care of them. That's a really good move done by our school. This help decrease deforestation and also make younger kids aware of planting new trees. But also our school also uses solar panels which also reduce emission of smoke from generators. So the power cuts does not produce any more smokes. Yes, ma'am, I'm done.
Okay. All right. We'll take one another reaction maybe, but um, okay. Ishan wants to answer this question. Ishan, can you please unmute yourself, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Ma'am, my school can, ma'am, encourage people coming, uh, people people coming to school by bicycles or walking.
You mean to say that it can encourage people like to walk to school? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, and bicycle to school.
Okay, that's true, and that's very important too. All right. Next question of the day. Um, Next question of our talk fest is about your personal resolution. So now that your final exams are over, I believe, what's your personal resolution? One thing that you will make for the planet, big or small, to make it better. What do you think you would like to do in this new session, new class, new you, new green resolution? What is it? Raise your hands quickly, and resolve to improve. All right, there are some responses I'm getting. Arya Jayapatre. Arya, do you want to answer this question? We can't hear you, Arya. Arkita, we can't hear you either. Hmm. I think there is some sound issue, guys. Um, all right, Angad. Angad wants to take up this question. And Angad, please answer.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
your ma'am, I shall may
What would you like to do this year now that you're in the new class?
ma'am, I'm in new class in seventh. So
Hmm.
think that whatever my notebooks are left,
Hmm.
I should use them. And I have applied a new notebook, and it is not completed yet. So I shall use that notebook as a rough notebook in the next session.
Okay, great. Save paper is the resolution. Cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? Sure, Florence wants to share. Florence, please tell us.
Finding ways to fix things instead of throwing them away. Like when our clothes get torn apart or something, we should find a way to fix it instead of throwing it away, or we should donate it.
Okay. All right. Waste management. Great. Next question is about what is one everyday habit that you think harms the environment? Now that you have called out the adults, it's time to also reflect upon yourself and think and tell what is one everyday habit that you think harms the environment the most? Sure, Ishan, please take up this question and answer it quickly. Let's build the tempo, people, and make it quick. Ishan,
Ma'am,
quick.
putting garbage in dustbins and recycling most of the things that we can recycle, and using less vehicles which emit carbon, etc.
No, the
Ma'am,
question
that's
is
all.
okay. So,
Oh, sorry. Oh,
your question is about what do
ma'am,
you think that you do harms the environment?
ma'am, ma'am, putting garbage everywhere and using cars for short distances, cars and vehicles.
Where do you use cars and vehicles for short distances?
Ma'am, like going to school, ma'am.
Mm, all right. Okay, that's an interesting confession. Um, all right. We now move on to the next question. If you were the environment minister for a day, what would you do first? That's great. Imagine yourself as the environment minister. What do you want to set as your rule number one? What's your decision for this country? We would like to hear you, please. So we have Nidhi with her hands raised for quite a while. Nidhi,
Ma'am, my first rule would be means everyone should plant the a tree every day and reduce the plastic waste. Means from every shop the plastic would be reduced.
okay. I want you people to think more sharply. Arya, do you want to take up this question and be more specific? Arya Jayapatre? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. I want to answer this question.
What do you want to do if you are the future environment minister?
Miss, I think we should reduce the plastic.
How?
We should not use plastic bags. We should use we should use cloth bags.
Okay. I think you should think sharply more and because these policies are already in place. Um, let's move on to the next question, I believe, and that is what gives you hope about future of your planet? What do you think is, in spite of all the travesties, in spite of all the problems that we have right now, that we spoke about yesterday, why do you think that you still have the energy and the um, insight to make things right? What makes you more hopeful? Darsh, do you want to take that?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Why do
I
you
would.
think that things will be better? Hmm.
One of the things that give me hope for the future of the planet is that the earth which we are seeing But I don't want that earth to be just kept in a museum of people that see this kind of earth used to be the earth. These were some kind of plants instead of those oxygen cylinders. The fake ecosystem is not the reality. Ma'am, I don't want that to be in just a museum of things. I want it to be the reality.
Okay. So you have a vision and you have a determination which is giving you hope, right? And that's very nice for me to know too. Thank you, Dash. Laksh, do you also want to add to that? Why do you think that in spite of all the problems, we shall overcome?
Yes, ma'am. What gives me the hope about the future of our planet is people, especially the younger generation, who are not just longer just aware, but also taking action towards the environment, which is most brilliant and enthusiastically they are encouraging towards the environment. Just their small actions, just like planting a trees or reducing the waste, turning into the powerful movements. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Laksh. Um, let's go on to the second last question now. And what is one thing adults can learn from children about caring for nature? What is one thing that you think you surely outright adults at, and that is inspiring also for rest of us to emulate? What do you think that adults can learn from you? Darsh again? Darsh, I would like to hear you.
Ma'am, the things which I think the adults could learn from the children are the new ideas which they learn, because because we have a high rate of imagination, so we could think of new ideas of saving our environment and our future. So that's the thing I think adults can learn from children.
That is so bang on. Thank you, Darsh, for sharing this idea.
Welcome, ma'am.
Um, all right. I'm so impressed by you people that it surprises me in every session to hear you all. Now that we are already towards the end, let's just take the last question of the day also. Uh, I'll request my friend Yashita to turn on to the last slide. Now, your message to the adult world, your one final message, like a politician to the adult world. What's the last line of your speech? Any hands raised? All right, Roseanne. Roseanne, please give us a very interesting and nice message.
Uh, Ma'am, adults, you should stop using plastic. There are opportunities to use cloth bags. We all use cloth bags. So why not use them instead of going to the shop and asking for a plastic bag?
Small things. Small things is what we should start with. That's true. Thank you, Roseanne. And I thank you all for this wonderful talk fest, for speaking your minds and for sharing your concerns. It was very insightful, very impressive, and sometimes mind blowing to hear you all. Uh, I also thank my guest speakers of the day with me, Richard Mahapatra and Snigdha Das, for staying with us. As we are reaching the end of the Young Planet Dialogue, I want to say that this has been very special. Over the last 2 days, we have understood the real challenges facing our planet, explored practical solutions, and importantly, heard your voices. From talking about rising heat and biodiversity loss to thinking about solutions for plastic waste pollution, and finally sharing your own ideas and questions today. You have taken a powerful step from awareness to action. Your participation certificates will reach you in a day or so, so keep an eye for that. But more than that, I hope you take back something even more valuable, your curiosity, your responsibility, and the courage to speak up. Because change doesn't start in big conference rooms, it starts with aware, thoughtful, and brave young minds like you. So, my final thought is don't wait to grow up to change the world. Start now, start small, and stay unstoppable. Thank you, everyone. I would request my friend to unmute everybody so that they can convey their thank yous and goodbyes.
It was a wonderful experience.
Thank you,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ma'am.
Ma'am,
Thank
Thank
I
you
you.
so
love
much.
this experience.
Yes, ma'am.
I learned a lot.
Bye,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am, for this experience.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am. It was a great experience.
Thank you all. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Bye,
Thank you so
ma'am.
much. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye,
Have a
ma'am.
great day.
Ma'am, it was a wonderful experience.
Thank you for us too. Thank you. Bye bye.